As the soul that inhabits our body when we are born, we are the totality of all experiences and non-experiences. Life is an opportunity for our souls to collect new experiences and continue to mature. We are sum of experiences and the genes which were passed on to us and the circumstances under which we were born and raised. This creates what we currently are and the glasses through which we view the world. Our personal truth, our subconscious and how we behave, our phenotype. Our genotype is the total sum of our inheritance, genetical and spiritually. Both genetically and spiritually, in an emotional sense, we already came with a certain ego and a certain ability to overcome that same ego. The above is called our personality. Each of us is born with a certain emotional maturity, a weaker or stronger influence of the ego. Our maturity is gradually built up through different, sometimes negative life experiences, traumas, and challenges. We also come with certain abilities to silence the ego, our emotional intelligence. These are awareness, conscience, and courage, thanks to which our soul matures. Someone will have a bigger challenge, a stronger ego, someone a smaller challenge and a smaller ego. Someone will quickly silence a stronger ego, someone will never overcome weaker ego. Everyone comes with their challenge and with their ability to solve that challenge. The above ratio creates a story about personal truth. And that is exactly what is, just a story, because it is a result from our experiential and comprehended experiences, or lack of experience, and not the truth that is reality. The more experiences are comprehended, the more capable we are of seeing the truth. Our phenotype is defined also by both our upbringing and our current environment. If we didn't get love and attention as a child and now constantly look for it, then our truth, fueled by ego fears, will make it impossible for us to gain clarity. If our partner left us long ago and we still don't trust others because we think they all want to hurt us, that will be our truth, and it's wrong. If we are born with a fear of change, this personal truth will limit us on the way to knowledge. If we pay attention to trivial things and hide from the truth that we don't want to hear or see, trivia will become our reality and focus. Our environment will define us through growing up and social conditioning until we wake up and define our truth for ourselves, that is, our reality and environment. And that phenotype of ours, our subconscious, is the software by which we unconsciously act, that is, all that we claim to be. During the first 6 years, when we internalize and adopt certain patterns of behavior, we adapt to social norms and expectations. And in the process, we slowly lose touch with our authentic soul. And it is exactly subconscious responsibility for as much as 95% of our behavior, emotions and decisions, and only indicates that we are not in the driving seat of our own life. It is an algorithm by which we behave daily without noticing. Therefore, the next time we say that we are simply like that, or we claim that we cannot overcome our fears or challenge ourselves, in other words, when we strongly advocate for or against something, let's remember that we are under the strong influence of the subconscious that we have accepted as truth. But everyone has their truth. Yes, everyone has their truth, and therefore, everyone has their own suffering that comes with their truth. Just because there is no reference value does not mean there is no truth. And the truth is always objective. This is where the key to maturity lies, in objectivity and following the truth. We are not to blame for what we came to this world with, or what challenges we encountered along the way. But we are responsible for solving all challenges and maturing so that we can find our purpose in life and clarity. As children, we easily realize things. We quickly gathered experiences, for example, of toys, comprehended them and continued further into the world, collecting new experiences. Just because other kids did it too. Growing up, we became socially conditioned. It is much harder and longer for us to comprehend new experiences because society tells us what is important, and this determines our values. And this time, we're not letting go of our toys, because no one does, and thus neither will we. And it is important to continue to accept new experiences, because the sooner we do that, the sooner we will unlock a new floor in maturing and gaining a new perspective. As long as we consider that status, appearance, desires and attachments are important, we will not be able to see the truth. When we comprehend the mentioned experiences and outgrow them, then we will come to the real truth, which is that only we and our maturation are important. If we ask why it is important to outgrow the importance of appearance and material things, the answer is for the same reason it is important to outgrow playing with Barbies or toy cars. So, let's set our own goals according to ourselves and not according to social values, because we just waste time on unimportant things. We will overcome that experience, for sure, because nobody on their deathbed is tied to their toys, whatever they may be. To find and become aware of the real truth, we must use the technique of self-examination to find motivation behind our every thought, word, and deed. Self-examining ourselves by asking questions like, why do I do this? Or why do I say this? Or why do I plan to do this? If we listen to the truth and are completely honest in our answers, the question will clarify our motivation and the truth. Because a person's maturity is defined by motivation, which is also the only correct evaluation factor of a person and not imposed social norms. We can become aware that we are most often motivated by fear, not kindness or self-care, which we use to justify our actions. The ego always likes to cover itself under the mask of love, so it's crucial not to replace fear with love, and that's why it's important to be aware of the motivation and the truth. If, for example, we ask ourselves why we are looking so much for confirmation and attention from outside, we can answer ourselves however we want, the unbearable freedom of free will. We can lie to ourselves that it is because we deserve it, or we can accept the truth that we have that need out of insecurity. We can come up with excuses and continue to lie in personal truth, that is, a lie that leads us to superficiality and shallowness. If we accept that model, all truths beyond it will remain unattainable. We will value what motivates us in others, which will give us a completely wrong direction in life that will lead us to ego and suffering, because it will completely distort our perception of the truth. Truth is also important to us when making decisions. In our everyday life, we have to make decisions every day, and we rarely know what their outcome will be. That is why we need to ensure favorable results from our decisions, and following the truth again will provide us this. To follow the truth in our decision making, there is one simple rule that we should follow. We only need to ask ourselves, is it right for everyone involved, including us? Are we motivated by ego or love? Are we, for example, greedy, or do we just sincerely want to create? If, when making decisions, we are focused on the creation and interest of everyone involved, this will ensure a positive outcome. It is so simple to follow the truth if we want to. These are the decisions we make regardless of what we think, what we would like, and how we feel about it. It is up to us to let go of the ego need for control, looking for ways to invoke a positive outcome. Our selflessness and love will ensure a positive outcome of our decisions. How much value do you see in experiences and how much in things and ideas? Where do you see the greatest value and what motivates you the most? Love brings us inner rewards that comes in the form of state of love, such as critical thinking, peace, happiness, and gratitude. But also external rewards that manifest in all aspects of our life, such as business, family, or health. As one person who started the path of awareness said, "When I stopped lying and started telling the truth, I already found myself in trouble in the first conversation. But the anger that the truth caused in my partner did not touch me or attach to me for the first time in my life. I had some strange feeling of incredible self-confidence. The harder it is to follow the truth, the faster the results. This newly acquired self-confidence is manifestation of following the truth and not thinking. Because our soul knows that we follow the truth and nothing and no one can hurt us, because only ego can be hurt. If we act from truth and love, we are protected by them and cannot fall into suffering." In practice, many people who manage to become aware of their truth based on self-examination were surprised by how much truth they didn't see in themselves and the immediate vicinity. One said, "I was an ordinary asshole. All the time I thought only of myself and that I was a hotshot because of my money and status, but in fact, I lived in fear of other people's opinion. The only thing that mattered to me was how others perceive me." Sometimes we are blind to the truth or simply don't want to see it. So, why is that? For the most part, the truth is not a problem to understand rationally. We all understand that we should not be egoistic, or that we should protect ourselves, that we should not take what is not ours, that we should not live in fear or be envious. All of this works while our egos are asleep and while we drink coffee. And then we find ourselves in real-life situations and react egoistically, aggressively, or jealously. We cannot remember that conversation because we previously understood rationally but did not comprehend it. This requires knowledge and maturity, and they require a commitment to that path. And should one always live and follow the truth? Love and truth are soft and relaxed. This means we don't always have to follow the truth, especially if we are not yet ready for it. We just can't ignore it. The truth, for example, that mine and your child are completely equal. The only thing that divides them and gives one of them more importance is the ego that says, "My child is more important." The truth is that both children are equally important and should be loved equally. However, this is a truth that I can't live yet. I haven't comprehended it yet. I understand it rationally, but I'm not yet mature enough to love someone else's child as my own, and I forgive myself for that weakness. Because maturing is a process, not an event. It's just important to admit the mistake and persist in following the truth. That's love. Maybe that's why I'll comprehend it one day. My name is Zoran Salopek, and in the next episode we will talk about what prevents us from seeing the truth.